Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you all for joining us tonight for this session. If you can hear me well, please type 1 in the chat area. Thank you so much for your response. Today, this is the second part of going on session today on the evaluation of blended courses in the University of Bisha. Before Asha prayer, we finished the Arabic session, and we will start with the English session now. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope, inshallah, it will be beneficial to all of you, inshallah. As an introduction to this session today, this is the rationale behind today's session, that the Deanship of e-learning and distance education wanted to make sure that the implementation of this mode of e-learning, I mean blended teaching, is effective. So we designed a form. It can be called a rubric, but it is a little bit shorter than this description now. That has some standards. According to this standard, we can judge if these courses are effective or not. And this decision, this evaluation, will help us in evaluating the seriousness of the teacher conducting or applying blended teaching in their courses. And at the same time, we can evaluate the effectiveness of blended courses in the university as a whole. The objective we have in today's session, inshallah, by the end, the participant will first of all have an overall view of blended teaching at University of Bisha. What are the rules that guide us in applying this mode of teaching? Identify the items and the standards of the evaluation form, and that can be the main objective of today's session, that we wanted to know what are the items and the standard according to which our courses are going to be evaluated, inshallah. The third objective is to realize how our courses can meet these standards. Number 4, to understand the evaluation process and its results, what will be done to our courses, how they will be reviewed and evaluated. And during and at the end of the session, inshallah, we will discuss and ask questions or raise any issues about the 4 items and standards, inshallah. The agenda for our program today, this is the introduction, and we will speak about blended teaching in general. Then we'll speak about the evaluation form, and at the end we have the discussion and the question section. If we start with the first part about blended teaching at University of Bisha for the second semester 1936, 1436, 1437. First of all, we start with the definition. What do we mean by blended teaching? I'm sure this is clear to all of you, but just to remind, and this is taken from the regulations of the Deanship of e-learning at the University of Bisha, that blended teaching is a form of e-learning at the University of Bisha in which some classroom time is eliminated and replaced with online activities on an LMS by applying e-learning tools and strategies. And this is the idea behind blended teaching, that we eliminate or we replace some classroom teaching with online activities, and this just not just some activities, but we should apply the tools and the strategies of e-learning in our teaching. There are some regulations that govern our work, and at the beginning of the semester, when you applied to have blended teaching in your courses. We send you a file about the regulations of blended teaching at the University of Bisha in Arabic, but I translated some of the main points in these 2 slides now. And inshallah, from next semester, inshallah, we might have an full English form of the regulation. Number 1, that the course should be designed according to the quality standards applied at the University of Bisha. And as you know, that the University of Bisha, same like what we were doing at King Khalid University, we now have been affiliated or joined Quality Matters or subscribed to Quality Matters, and the Quality Matters rubric and the standard are now recognized by the University of Bisha as the standards or the quality standard that should be applied on online courses. And inshallah, we will have training provided to all the teachers in our university on, first of all, an introduction to quality matters and the standards, and then we will have a course on how to apply quality matters in our courses, inshallah. The second point is about that the instructor should encourage learners' engagement and participation by adhering to the student-centered approach, and that the courses should be active in this point, that the students should participate, they should engage, that the course shouldn't be only to provide some materials and do some tests, but there should be a live learning environment, a learning community to be created within the course. Next point, that the teacher should provide interaction opportunities in the course, that at this point there should be some opportunities so that the students can interact with the you know that in the course we have 3 levels of interaction. We have student or learner instructor interaction. This is the communication between the teacher and the student, and we have learner interaction, that the students should interact among themselves. And the third point is what we call the learner material interaction. This is when the students interact with the teaching material, watching videos, reviewing the presentations, reading articles, and so on. The next point is that the course improvement is a continuing process, and the student evaluation should be considered. That the teacher should regularly update their courses and improve them, and they should seek students' evaluation and opinions about the course, and these their ideas, their points of view, their evaluation should be considered in developing the course or improving the course. We have also these points that the instructor should implement critical thinking, analysis, problem solving strategy in the course, that the course should help the learner to develop these thinking skills, and they should apply these, that the activities in the course shouldn't be only just cut and paste, shouldn't be just fill in, that there should be some activities that will ask the student to think, to analyze, to solve the problems, to discuss, to have teamwork with the other students in group work. So these strategies should be addressed in the courses. The next point, that the instructor should revise and update the course to include recent best practices in the course, that all the time we have new technologies, we have new tools, and we have new teaching materials, so the teacher should regularly update their courses. The last point about the feedback from the students and the checking up, that in blended teaching, that the teacher should at least check his courses for checking or for grading the students' activities, for replying to their messages, at least every 72 hours or every 3 days in blended teaching, so that he will be regularly checking his course, and he should grade the students' activities, give feedback, participate in their discussions, and so on. These are the regulations related to blended teaching at the University of Teaching. If we have a quick look at the experiment for this semester, this is the first semester to have blended the courses at Visha University. We have this semester 61 teachers applying blended teaching in their courses. And we have 72 courses, and in terms of sections and group, because we know that in some courses we have more than one group, we have 118 courses this semester. If we have a look by the colleges, we have the College of Science and Arts, which this is 37%, then the Community College and the College of Education, and then we have other colleges according to this statistics. Now we have, this is just to have an idea about how far we have gone this semester in applying, and we hope inshallah from next semester we'll have more and more teachers joining us in applying this form of teaching. Now if we go, if you have any question about that, this is just an introduction, and most of the points I'm sure you know. If you have any questions about this point before we go to our main, inshallah, in Namas, inshallah, we will have, right now we have training. The Deanship is conducting a lot of training workshops for all teachers in the university about the building and activating courses on Blackboard, and inshallah we hope we will this will affect that we have more blended courses next semester, inshallah. Okay, if we start the main part of our session today about the evaluation form. The Deanship, in the Deanship we have defined this form for evaluating courses applying blended teaching, and in this form we have 5 main items that we are going to focus on. The first item is the lead-in section, or we can call it item or section. That the lead-in, how the course introduces the material or the course to the students, and how it helps the student to engage in the course and get an idea about the course. The second point is about the structure of the course, how the course is built, how the teacher is providing the teaching material, providing the activities and the evaluation tools or the assessment tools in the course. The third item is about evaluation, about the evaluation tools used in the course. The fourth item is about interaction, and the fifth item is about design, or overall design of the course. We have these 5 items, and in each item we will have more than one standard according to which we can evaluate the effectiveness of the course as a blended course. Okay, are the 5 items clear to all of you? If you have any question about one of them, inshallah it will be clearer later. Okay. Okay, as I asked our colleagues in the Arabic session, okay, who can remember the 5 items of the evaluation form? You can type in the chat area. Lead in, structure, evaluation, structure again. Very good. We still have 2 missing. Structure, design. Again, the same point that was forgotten. Yes, interaction. So these are the 5 items of the evaluation form: the lead-in, the structure, the evaluation, interaction, and design. Before we go to the standards, we should have a look at how the standards are going to be measured or are going to be evaluated. We have for each standard in each category or in each item, we have some standard, and for each, okay, thank you, Dr. Anas, from Mark, these are the 5. For each standard, we have number 1, how this standard, the weight of this standard in our evaluation. That each standard will have different weight. We have standards that are that have 5 weights, their evaluation in points, and we have some standards that will count to 10 in their weight. Weight means their importance. So we have some standards that are less important and some standards that are more important than the other standards. And for each standard, we are going to evaluate it out of a scale that starts from 5 to 0. 5 means high, 4 means good, 3 average, 2 low, 1 means the standard is very poor, that can't meet, and or not applicable at all means the standard is not met in the whole course. So the course is going to be given a value for each of these standard, and this value is going to be multiplied by the weight of the standard. So the mark here means the points that the course will get for each standard, means that the values is given to the course multiplied by the weight of the course in that standard. So for a standard is out of 5 and the course achieves or is evaluated at the level of 3, this means it's going to be given 15 points. If the standard is valued as a 10 weight standard and he got and the standard got 3, means that he will be given 30 points. And at the end we have the weight amounts to 100 and the points will amount to 500 points. Of course, for you as a teacher, you are not concerned about this because this is the work of the reviewers who are going to review the courses and evaluate the courses. But you should have an idea how your course is going to be evaluated and how the mark given to your course, how we came out with this mark. I hope this process or these levels are clear to you now in evaluating the course. If it is clear, you can type 1 in the chat area. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, great. Okay, now if we move to the items and the standards related to these items, we have in the first item, the lead-in or the first section, lead-in, we have 3 standards. And the 3 standards, all of them address the idea how the course is introduced to the student. The first standard is about the introduction of the course. There is an introduction about the course. It means objectives, items, evaluation, policies, everything related to the course. In e-learning, we highlight the importance of providing these items or this information to the student because in an e-learning course, usually in traditional teaching, you are in class and whatever question the students have in their mind, they can ask directly to the teacher. But in e-learning, there should be an area or a reference area for which the students can go back and find whatever information he needs about the course. The form of this introduction, every teacher is free to supply this introduction the way he or she likes. He can provide a video, a PDF file, PowerPoint presentation, Word document, a page, internet page, whatever media the teacher can use, or whatever form the teacher wants to use, but we just want to evaluate if such an introduction is there. It is now a common practice in all e-learning teachers that in each course we will have an area or a content area, which is usually called start here or course information, in which the teacher will provide all these information to the students. Some of them put in one file, and some teachers can make a file or an area about each of these items. He can provide the objectives on one file, the items or the books, and the policies of the course, about makeup exam, attendance, all this in another file. Whatever form the teacher prefers, okay, he is free to use, and the reviewer will review if this standard is met in the course or not. The second standard is about the teacher introduction. There is an introduction about the instructor and contact information. The teacher should provide information about himself or herself as a teacher, and also some contact information, how the students can contact him, either by email, by SMS, or by phone calls, or office hours. All these contact information should be provided to the student. The third standard related to this area, that the course provides instruction on how to manage its components and its layout. You should tell the students. Some teachers prefer to put the teaching material in a folder and the assessment tools in another folder. Other teachers prefer to put all units in one place. Some teachers call the teaching material area, they call it lectures. Some teachers call it the content area. Some teachers call it course units, course chapters, whatever. So whatever layout you prefer, no problem, but you should instruct, you should show to your students what's your philosophy of putting this layout in your course. You feel that if you'd like to study the material, go to this area. If you'd like to do the activities, go to that area, and so on. Again, you can provide this in a video, in narrative, in a PowerPoint, whatever ways. Some teacher put it like in a diagram or a picture. He will take a print screen of the course and start explaining each item in the course, that you can go to this area to do so and so. Whatever form you'd like to provide these instructions, you are free, but the students should find something that whenever he wants to do anything, he will go and check this area. Again, you can put all of this in one area, in the start here or in the course information area. Okay, Dr. Me, yeah, well, this is your preference. Some teachers don't like it. Some courses they don't have books. They have different materials, so it's up to you. And sometimes even for one teacher, his layout might differ from one course to another. It differs by the nature of the course and the preference of the teacher. Usually, as reviewer, we don't say that we can't judge others' courses according to our preferences, but we judge by how the course can meet the standard. If the course meets the standard, the way the teacher likes, okay, it is okay. Okay, I hope the three standards for the lead-in are clear to you. Do you have any question related to this point? Okay, very good. Okay, if we move to the second item, the second section, this is about the structure. As you noted, the three standards, 1, 2, 3, in all of them, they are weighted out of 5. Here in the structure section, we have one weighted out of 5, and the two, number 5 and 6, are given 10 as a weight value because they are very important. Number 4, this one is very important, but for this time, because we are at the beginning of applying the quality standards in our courses. We prefer not to give it more weight, and it deserves to have more than one standard. It is about the learning objectives in the course. The learning objectives in quality matters and most rubrics that evaluate online courses, they give a lot of importance to the learning objectives because they are like a guiding rule or a guiding factor in all over the course. You know that when we in quality matters we have 43 standards. The course can fail to meet any of the standards, and we continue the review and finalize it. Either the course passes or doesn't meet the standard, except for the objectives. If the course has no objectives, the review can't go on. It has to be stopped, and the course instructor is asked to provide learning objectives, because the learning objectives, you start with the learning objective, then you provide material that will help the students to achieve the objectives, then you provide activities through which the students will interact with the material to achieve the objectives, and then you provide assessment tools through which you judge if the learners have achieved the objectives or not. So without clear learning objectives, we can't say that we have a good teaching unit or a good course in our. So, of course, when you are speaking about objectives, you see that these objectives should be measurable, they should be varied, should be realistic, they should be related to the nature. A lot of criteria related to objectives, but we prefer to have just that in this stage. We ask you that you should have learning objectives in each unit, at least. But we are not going to judge these objectives if they are good objectives or well-written objectives or badly written objectives. This is not our job at this area, because this will need that we will have more specialization in all the courses. But to achieve or to meet this standard, that you should have, in addition to the course objectives provided by the institution and the course description, you should provide some objectives for each teaching unit in your course. 2 objectives, 3 objectives, whatever there should be, and usually they should be at the beginning of the unit. Standard number 5 is about that the course should provide or should have varied teaching materials for all course units. As we know, this is blended teaching, and usually we have levels of 30%, 50%, 70%. Most of the courses are 30% now. But you are asked to provide teaching materials for all the course. If you have 10 units in your course, you should provide the teaching materials for all the units. But for activities and for evaluation, you are asked or you are required to provide this for the percentage you are applying for in your course. This is the 30%, for example. But the course should be complete online, that you should have teaching material for all the courses or all the items of your course on the online course. Standard number 6 in this item of the structure is about the interactive activities. That there are interactive activities in the course. Interactive activities means that there are opportunities through which there should be interaction in the course. Interaction means the students should be interact with the teaching material. The student should, for example, he should watch a video and do something. He would read an article and answer something. This is what we mean by interactive activities. That the student will read something, then he will discuss with his colleagues in a discussion forum. He will study or review some PowerPoint presentation, then he will write something in a diary or in a blog or in a wiki. So these are what we mean by interactive activities in the course. And because the teaching materials and the interactive activities are very important, they are given weight out of them. If we move to the third item or third section of our evaluation form, we have also here 3 standards, 7, 8, and 9, and they are about evaluation. The first standard is that the course provides varied assessment tools for all its components. Some teacher will provide a lot of tests in his course. All his evaluation is just tests. But assessment, we have many assessment tools that we can deploy in Blackboard. We have assignment, we have tests, we have surveys, we have graded discussion forums, we have graded wikis, we have graded blogs, we have group work, we have a lot of tools through which we can assess the students' achievement of their objective. So here, the course should provide assessment tools, and these assessment tools should be varied. Number 8 is about that the evaluation opportunities are proportional to the percentage of the blended teaching. That if the teacher is applying 30%, he should provide assessment tools that will assess at least 30% of the course objectives. This is what means that it should be proportional to the blended percentage applied in his course. Number 9, here we go to the work of the teacher, that the assessment activities are graded, either automatically graded or that the teacher will provide feedback by grading the activities like assignment, like discussion forums, like wikis, like projects, whatever assessment. By the end of the semester, that the teacher should have graded all these activities provided by the students. I hope these 2 items are clear to you now about the structure and the evaluation. If you have any question related to this point. Okay, if you are following, you can type 1 in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Okay, now if we move to the 4th category or 4th item or section, Dr. Munir asking about, in blended courses, we see that it has no relation to the percentage, but in all blended courses, we have 25% of the mark should be assigned to online activities. If you are applying blended teaching or blended, if you have blended courses, 25% of the marks, this means 25 marks. Because you know that evaluation in our university, out of 100, 25 marks should be assigned to the online activity. And it doesn't differ by the percentage, either 30 or 50 or 70. Okay, it will make no difference. If we move to the interaction, we have 5 standards, and all of them are weighted out of 5 about interaction. Number 1, that the course provides learner instructor interactive opportunities. That there should be some opportunities in the course through which there will be interaction between the learner and the instructor. And these opportunities can be through course messages, emails, that both the learner and the instructor will participate in the discussion forum. And this also can be achieved by the feedback provided by the instructor to the learner when the instructor grades their written assignments, okay, by providing marks, providing comments. All these are considered interactive opportunities in the course. The SMS tool is not available for the university now. But you have a lot of other, also we have the announcement tool. If you are writing announcement to your student, this means that there is interaction between you and the students. Standard number 11 is about that the course provides learner interactive opportunities. That's it. That some courses are designed that the students will go to the course and either download something or do the test. Just no interaction between the or among the learners in the course. Blended in e-learning, especially in blended and the full learning, the course should provide or should create a learning environment or a learning community practice through which the students can interact and can learn from each other. This is what we call cooperative learning. This can be done through discussion forums, group work, group assignments, a lot of things through which the students will interact together. This is what we call learner-learner interaction. Standard number 12, that the learner material interaction is effective. Learner material interaction means that the students will interact with the teaching materials provided in the course. For this standard, we have something here. You know that when you are creating any material in your course, either providing a video, a picture, a file, an item, whatever, there is an option that you can activate the review status of the item. This will help you as a teacher to know how many students viewed this video or this article or this material. And it will help us as reviewers of your course to know how effective these materials are there in the course. Because you know that a lot of the students will just go to the course just to find the test or to find the assignment to do it, because they are after marks. Videos, pictures, materials, files, they just neglect or bottle. So this, inshallah, starting from next semester, inshallah, all teachers applying blended teaching will be asked to activate this item in all their teaching material, that the review status of these items should be active, so that you as a teacher and we as reviewers can know how effective is the interaction between the learner and these materials. Standard 13 is about the learner activities interaction. You provided some activities to this. You provided discussion forums, you provided group work, but how effective it was, how the students participated, how many students participated in these activities. This is what we are going to judge in this standard. The last standard in this section is about the learner-assistant interaction and how effective it is. You see that these all the standards are going the same, but different sections of the course. Now we provided as assignment, we provided tested how many students really participated in these assessments. I'm sure this standard is going to be the most or will be highly evaluated on the course, because you know our students, they are after marks, so they usually try to do all the assessment in the courses. So this is one of the aspects of the course that is usually very active or very effective, that most of the students will do the activities or do the assessment opportunities provided in the course. This is the item about interaction. The last item, it has only one standard. We made it one standard and it's out of 10 anyway. This is about the overall design of the course. How easy it is for the students to move around the course and to find its different components, and how well it is structured. It is logically structured. Also, the colors, the items, of course. This is one standard. This is like a holistic judgment by the reviewer about how the course looks and how it is good in its design, in its choosing of color, pictures, whatever. But of course, that we are not going to be deceived by a lot of colors and pictures. It is just one standard, and it is going to be evaluated, or it will have a 10 weight value in our evaluation, inshallah. So generally, if we move here, this is the form as a whole, that according to which your course, inshallah, is going to be evaluated. Again, if you have any question about any of these standards before we move to the last section of our presentation. Number 14 is about that how many students did the assessment opportunities in the course. That you provided tests. How many students did the test? You provided assignment. How many students did the assignment, and so on. Okay, just look for many years. Okay, but WhatsApp is not included in Blackboard, so we can't judge in our judging how effective your course is. Inshallah, this is standard that this form and the whole presentation is going to be available, inshallah, at the end of the session. You can download, inshallah. Okay, if we move to the last part of our about the pass requirements. Of course, you know, as like a students, we should like how we are going to pass or how our courses are going to. The pass rate we have for our evaluation is 60%. This means that courses that are achieving less than 6%, we mean that they are not effective as blended courses. So this is the pass rate we have agreed on in the Deanship of e-learning about in our evaluation, inshallah. Courses scoring then more than 58%, and you know that we choose this 58 because it is very important for quality matters. Any course achieving or scoring more than 85%, this means that this is a very good course in design and implementing blended teaching, and the teachers, inshallah, will be given achievement certificates or thank you certificates, inshallah. And again, this is very important. The courses or the pass rate, the 6%, will be considered in accepting future blended teaching application. This means that the teachers whose courses achieve less than 6%, they are not going to be allowed to have blended courses in the future, okay? Because this means that their teaching is not effective, and the amount of time that they have deducted from these courses hasn't been replaced by